Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Astar12 here, and today I've got something a little bit different to what I usually do on the channel, but it's still football related. I'm just going to be sharing with you guys my predictions for the Premier League season 21-22. If you like what you see, then please do drop a like and subscribe. It would mean an awful lot to me. We've been getting a lot of support on the channel lately, so a massive thank you to everybody for that. And yeah, if you stumble across this video, then feel free to drop some comments about what you agree with, what you disagree with, and whatnot. And it'd be great to have a kind of debate with you guys and see what everyone else thinks. But yeah, enough of that. Let's just get straight on with the video. So in 20th place, I have gone with Watford. I think Watford are quite notorious for sacking their managers pretty quickly when things get a bit rough and they lose a few games. I don't personally think that that is the best way to do things. I think that that's going to, bite them a little bit. I don't know if their squad is capable or good enough really of performing in the Premier League. So I can't really see much else other than relegation for them. So if you're a Watford fan watching this, then I apologise. 19th, I've gone with Crystal Palace. I think they've had a really poor transfer window. Obviously, like half their squad has left. They've lost 3 centre halves. They've got Patrick Vieira in, who isn't proven at this level. I think he did do pretty well in America, but at Nice, I think towards his last few months, I think it all went a bit pear-shaped for him there. So I can't really see him lasting the entire season personally, and I think unless something happens in the next couple of weeks in the transfer window dramatically, I don't think it's looking good for Palace either. 18th place, the final relegation spot, I've gone with Southampton. It may be surprising to a few, but they lost like 15 of their final 21 Premier League games, and if they carry that form on into the next season, into this season, then that is just relegation form. I can't see, how you stay up in that kind of form. I think if that happens this season, I think Hasselhutton is gone. I can't see him lasting past Christmas if he's going to bring that form into this season. Again, they've lost 9-0 like twice in the past 3 years or 2 years, however long it is. Like, it's just doesn't scream signs of a great team. I know that obviously they were top for a little while last season, but that was just like a good run of form almost at the start of the season. So if they don't start well, if they start like they ended last season, then I can't see them staying up. 17th, I've gone with Norwich. Now these could easily be 18th, and Southampton could switch places. But I think Norwich have got enough about them. I like Daniel Farke. I think he plays good football. I think 2 years ago when they were in the Premier League, they played good football. I think they always try and play. I think they're a little bit more well equipped this time compared to the last time they were in the league. They've signed a few more good players who have played at top leagues in Europe in that kind of level before. I think that Todd Cantwell, obviously a young lad who's coming through, he looks really good. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a move in the future. So I think as long as they carry on playing the way they do, in terms of trying to attack teams and trying to pass in the ball best they can. 16th, I've gone with Burnley. I don't think Burnley are going to do anything spectacular this year. They aren't going to go down. Sean Dyche, he's a good manager. He knows what he's doing. But the thing with Burnley is they kind of been declining in recent years. They haven't really made any kind of progression lately. They are slipping further and further down in terms of out-and-out quality in the league, in my opinion. Obviously, they've got Chris Wood and Barnes up top, who are goal scorers in the Premier League, which is absolutely crucial. But I can't personally see them pulling up any trees this year. I think it's just going to be, lower mid-table consolidation, and then they're going to have to try and push on a little bit more in the next few years, or I could see them getting left behind. 15th place, I've gone with Brentford. Brentford remind me a little bit of Bournemouth when Bournemouth came up a few years ago. I like the way they play. I like Thomas Frank. They've got Tony up top, who I wouldn't be surprised to see in an England squad in the near future. I like the way they play again. They're a bit like Norwich, a bit more solid though defensively in my opinion. I know Norwich came up top last year in the Championship, but I just feel like the way Brentford play suits the Premier League a little bit better, and they're a little bit more solid at the back. So I can see Brentford being absolutely fine. I can't see anything. I can't see them going down in my opinion, but I could be wrong. But no, so I've gone with 15th with Bradford, and I'm quite excited to watch them play this year. 14th place, I've gone with Newcastle. Again, Newcastle, I feel sorry for them. They're a big team, big club, massive stadium, great fans, and they've got Steve Bruce in charge. So, the guy isn't the kind of manager who finishes, in the top 6. It's not his, the way he is, it's not what he's never really done that before, has he? I can't think of a time off the top of my head where he has done that. I think Newcastle again are in for a pretty unspectacular season. They've got the quality, they've got players in that team, especially Saint Maximin, who could be, pushing top 10 in my opinion if they had the right man in charge, and if they had an owner in charge who's willing to spend a bit of money and get the right players in. So I think 14th is where Newcastle are going to be. I think lower mid-table is the best they can kind of hope for this year. I don't obviously think they're going to go down. I don't think they're in any trouble of going down. But I think if they're going to push on as a club and get back to where they used to be, I think Steve Bruce has got to go, and they need a younger manager who's going to come in with fresh ideas and get them playing a little bit more expansively. 13th, I've gone for Brighton. I think Graham Potter's a really, really good manager. He's done a really good job there. I think, and I don't know if this is true, but I think I read somewhere that they came sixth for last season in terms of XG. I don't know how much people look into that, but it's still pretty impressive if you're creating that many kind of good chances. So I don't think Brighton are in any kind of trouble going down. I think they're a club on the up. They're an exciting team to watch because obviously they just play, free-flowing, attacking kind of football. They've got to find someone who could put the ball in the net. Obviously, I think they need an out-and-out striker who's going to score them 15, 20 goals a season. But I do think they're a good team, and I think they've got a really good manager who I imagine will be going on to a pretty, maybe a top 6 club, top 8 club within the next season or two. So I think Brighton will be absolutely fine. 13th for them. 12th place, I've gone with Wolves. Obviously, they've lost Nuno. He didn't really have the best season last season, but I think they had more than enough issues last year. They had Jimenez, they had Patricio out injured. Obviously, it wasn't the same season they had the year before that, where they were, I think, did they finish 6th that season or 7th or something? Qualify for Europe. They had a really good year. They were playing good football last year. They were very negative and defensive. I don't know what changed. I don't know if there was a bit of discontent between the managers and the players or what, but they weren't the same team that they were the year before, but I can't see them declining that much. I think 12th, again, it's going to be one of those seasons where they kind of adjust to what's happened. They've got a new manager, got some new players in, so I can't see them, falling too far down the pecking order. I think that they are still a solid side. They've got some really good players. Jimenez is back from injury, which is great to see after what happened to him. So I think this season's all about them, getting back on the feet and just stabilising a little bit. And then next season, I can't see another reason why they can't push on for another top 8 kind of finish. 11th place, I've gone with Aston Villa. I think they had a really, really good season last year, but obviously they've lost a key man in Jack Grealish. You saw it when it happened to Tottenham and Liverpool when they lost Bale and Suarez. They tried to sign loads of players and it didn't really go to plan. I don't think that's going to be the case with Villa. I think they've made some really, really smart signings. They've done some really good business in the transfer window. I don't see them, in any kind of trouble and any kind of danger. But I do think it might take a year or half a season or whatever for these players to kind of adjust to each other. When obviously you sign quite a few new players, it does take time for the players to gel and settle into life at the club, especially if these players have been playing abroad previously. So I do think it might be a bit of a consolidation season, get the players to know each other, ready to push on next year. So that's why I've gone with a little bit lower position of 11th than some people might expect. 10th place, I've gone with Leeds. I love the way Leeds play. They've got the fans back in the stadium, so that's going to be a real boost for them. And obviously they've got a really good manager, Bielsa, who's just signed another extension for this season. So I think they're going to have a pretty solid season again. I think their defence lets them down. I think that it's great to watch teams like Leeds who just want to throw everything forward and then forget about defending. But unfortunately, in the Premier League, that's not going to cut it. And you'll see it when they play, good teams. They'll just get crucified if that's the way that they're going to play. So it'll work against teams that they're better against. Obviously, that's why I think they'll be 10th, because I think they're better than half the teams in the Premier League. So I think they will give more than enough teams a good run for the money and get more than enough points to be in the top half. And I wouldn't be surprised if they took points off any of the top 6 at some point this year. But I do think they do need to kind of tighten up at the back a little bit and try and stop conceding as many goals. In 9th place, I've gone with Arsenal. I just think it's time for us all to accept now that Arsenal are a mid-table team. I don't think Mikel Arteta is the man that's going to turn that around. I don't think we've seen anywhere near enough progression from Arsenal over the past 18 months as what we'd expect. I know there's an FA Cup thrown in there, but their league performance has been really, really poor for their standards. And I could sit here and berate Arsenal all day, but I'm not going to, obviously. But what I'm trying to say is they're meant to be a big club. They're meant to be a top 4 club. They're meant to be challenging, every year for titles and whatnot, and they're just not anymore. And I think it's time that they accept, and we all accept, that they aren't what they used to be. It happened to Liverpool about 10 years ago, where they spent a few years lingering down in 8th kind of place, and I think that's just what Arsenal are going to have to put up with for X amount of time, whether it's a season or 5 or however long, until they can get a manager in who's going to be, a little bit like Jurgen Klopp maybe, or and obviously not him, but someone of his kind of caliber who's going to come in and try and turn the club's fortunes around. So I don't think it's as simple as oh, it's Arsenal, they should win. It's not like that. I mean, we could see that Aubameyang and Lacazette, they clearly don't want to be there for whatever reason. They're already ruled out of a game with illness, like 10 days before that game even starts. And unless it's COVID, which the club hasn't said it's COVID, I don't really see what else it could be. Who knows if you're going to be ill in 10 days. So, I think there's a lot of problems going on at Arsenal. Obviously, the 9th place, I've got them in predictions. I can't see any trouble for them personally, but I think there's a lot of issues that they need to resolve if they want to kind of get back to where they used to be. In 8th place, I've gone with Everton. I think that Benitez is going to do a really solid job, as much as it pains me to say it as a Liverpool fan. But I think he actually quite suits the way Everton play. I think the fans will warm to him. I know obviously at the moment it's a bit between them because of obviously his history with Liverpool. But I do think that Benitez is going to do a really good job. I think he's got Dominic Calvert-Lewin up top, who is Benitez's kind of man. He likes having a big man up top, and he's brought Townsend and Gray in, obviously 2 wingers. And I'm not being funny, but when Townsend was at Tottenham, the guy just used to score screamers like every other weekend, and obviously he scored a great goal against City for Palace. The guy's still got talent. I think he's got something to offer. I don't think he's obviously what he used to be, but no, I think he's still got something to offer, and I think Benitez will find a good fit for him in his team. And Damari Gray, he always had promise at Leicester, never really fulfilled it there. He's gone away, got out of the limelight of the English media for a little while, and he's come back, and who knows, maybe he might surprise everyone and do a bit of a job for them. So yeah, I do think Everton will be okay. I think Benitez will sort them out defensively, and it will lead them to a top 8 finish. In 7th place, I've gone with West Ham. They've obviously had a really good season last year, and they've obviously recruited really, really well. David Moyes has done a really, really good job there, which is great to see after he was really good at Everton and then it all went a bit wrong for him. So it's great to see that he's resurrected his career. So I do think West Ham again will be top 7, pushing for European places. I think that with the fans back in the stadium too, I think that'll obviously be a great plus for them. And Mikel Antonio, sorry, can't speak. Mikel Antonio is obviously back, and he's a really important player for West Ham. You obviously got your lights of Declan Rice as well, and Aaron Cresswell, who I think is a really important player for them. So yeah, I think West Ham will be absolutely fine. They're a solid side, play really good football, and I do think again, they'll be pushing for Europe. In 6th place, I've gone with Tottenham. Now, this all depends, of course, on whether Harry Kane stays or goes. If he stays, I think, obviously, they've got one of the best front threes in Europe. They've got Kane, Son and Lucas. And then aside with those 3 players in, or even Bergwijn or whoever, they should be doing a lot better than what they are doing. They should be pushing top 4. They should be in Champions League finals like they were a few years ago. And they should be pushing for the title. I think that, obviously, Nuno's come in. He's got Doherty, who was obviously really good at Wolves. Didn't have a great start at Tottenham, but, he's got Nuno back, he's got his manager back. He might be able to get the best out of him. He's got Højbjerg, who I think was Tottenham's best player last year. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the Premier League. I think he's a really, really solid centre mid. So I think they've got the foundations. I think if they can keep hold of Harry Kane and get off to a good start this season, I think they will be pushing the top 6. However, I can't see them breaking into the top 4 this year, because I think the top 4 is just a little bit too strong. In 5th place then, I've gone with Leicester. I could see them just missing out again, unfortunately, for top 4 football. I think, again, like I just said, the top 4 is just far too strong this year. Although I do love the way Leicester play. They play without fear. Brendan Rodgers has done an amazing job at Leicester. He's done really well. I love their recruitment policy in the transfer market. They always seem to sign great players for cheap prices. It's a shame what's happened to Fofana, because he was so crucial for them last year, and obviously he's suffered a really bad injury in pre-season, so they're definitely going to miss him. But yeah, I don't think it's going to come to the point where they'll be dropping 3 or 4 places down the table. I think 5th is reasonable for Leicester. I think they've done really well in the past 5 or 6 years, and I can't see them slipping away from the progress that they've made so far. Now the top 4 then, I think everyone kind of has the same sort of top 4. But in a different order maybe. I think 4th place is going to be Man United. The reason I think that is because I don't think Solskjaer's a good enough manager. I think he's done well. I think you can't take that away from him. United have made a lot of progress since he took over compared to the managers, previous. Apart from Mourinho, I think did a pretty good job, obviously winning, a few trophies. But Solskjaer doesn't seem like the man to me who can, go that extra mile. He doesn't seem to win trophies for whatever reason. I think that he's not got that winning mentality. He might be able to get that one day. Might 5, 6, 7, 8 years into the future, he might start winning with United or a different team, or whoever. But right now, as it stands, I can't see him being that long-term man for United. I think he's come in and done what he needed to do. I think he's steadied the ship. I think he's made them progress. He's obviously got them back into Europe, like proper Champions League Europe. So I do think he's done a good job. I just don't think he's the man to take them back to the glory days, if you like. Obviously, it's not Varane and Sancho, two fantastic players. I don't know if they really needed Sancho, but he's still a fantastic player, so he'll still do a great job for them, I'm sure. And obviously, of course, Varane and Maguire at the back, you imagine that's a pretty solid partnership. I do think they're missing a centre mid, maybe a CDM. I like Scott McTominay. I think Scott McTominay is actually a pretty decent player, to be fair. Not sure how I feel about Fred, but it's one of them. We'll see how they get on. But yeah, I've gone with 4 for United. In third place, I've gone for my team, Liverpool. I don't think we've done enough this transfer window to say that we're going to challenge City and Chelsea. Obviously, we brought Konate in, which is great, because now we've got more than enough centre-backs to cover us if anything happened last year. I do think it's a bit harsh on Nat Phillips, to be honest. I thought he had a really good season last season, but, it's what it is. But yeah, I don't think we've done enough in the market. I think we needed a backup striker, definitely. And I think we needed to replace Wijnaldum, which we haven't done as of yet. There's still time, but I can't see us doing much. The owners keep saying we've got no money. So I kind of think we are stuck where we are. I think we'll just be third place. I think if everyone stays fit, if I start at 11 and first 14, 15 players all stay fit, I think we've got a chance. It's just that's quite unlikely to happen. We're 1 or 2 injuries away from Salah and Mane get injured at the same time. Then it's kind of curtains. Get Divock Origi on the bench, and I have no idea how that man has frauded his way to the time he's spent at Liverpool. Obviously, he's living off the Champions League from 2 years ago. So no, I can't see Liverpool mounting a challenge, unfortunately, this year. I do think we need to spend if we want to get back to winning the Premier League again. Now, the top 2 then, it's interesting. I have gone second place for Chelsea. I just think City have got too much. I just think City have got 2 11s that could win the league almost. At least, both come in the top 4. They've just got that much squad depth that even if 2 players get injured in the same position, it just does not matter to them. They've got so many players who can play in so many different positions. Obviously, they've just brought Jack Grealish in for 100 million. I think Harry Kane to City is pretty much inevitable, whether it's now or January or next summer. I think it's going to happen. And I think Chelsea have had a good window as well. I think Thomas Tuchel's come in, obviously done an amazing job. He won the Champions League in 6 months. I think he's a great manager, and I think he suits Chelsea to the ground. He reminds me a little bit of Mourinho when Mourinho first joined Chelsea in the first stint. So I think Chelsea are going to have a great season, and they've signed some really great players. But I just can't see anybody really, challenging City. They've just got too much squad depth. They've just got too many players who are world class, in my opinion. That just no one else in the world has that kind of squad depth. So yeah, for me, Chelsea second and City top. But that's going to be it, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. Do let me know down in the comments below whether you agree or disagree or what you would have changed or whatnot. It'd be great to have a debate with you guys. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.